How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So I have one item that is extremely beneficial that I use all the time in the wilderness, mainly for emergency purposes and for other common utility-based tasks. I don't see a lot of people using this, and if they have it in their pack, I don't think a lot of people realize how beneficial something like this can be. Now there's the heavy model that we have here, and there's a lighter model that I have made myself, and you can make, and I'm going to show you how to make it for really cheap, like less than $8. You can make 4 of these, and it'll be extremely beneficial in your pack. So first thing, mainly, it's fairly simple, is the S17 panel, or a signal panel of some sort. This was issued to me way years ago when I went to Afghanistan. Very heavy, I guess you could say, very durable, but we carried these on us mainly for signaling, and of course that's what it's used for. But what are the other benefits other than the obvious of signaling could this help you out with? Well, that's what we're going to explain. So this one right here is fairly built very well, has grommets and has, Velcro and stuff. You can tie it off to things, tie it on top of a vehicle, so when people are looking at the vehicle from a normal standpoint, it's like, oh, there's nothing up there, but aerial can see this and they can track you if necessary, if you want to. There's all kinds of different uses. But out here in an environment like this, it's kind of fairly wet. Like there's a bunch of snow, like literally 100 meters down there, there's like 3 feet of snow and a snowdrift, and everything's kind of saturated. What you can do is set this down for your knees, mainly so your knees don't get soaking wet, right? So if you're doing a task or you're pulling gear or out of a pack or you're reorganizing, you don't want to just kneel straight into snow, or if it's raining out, straight into mud, because that's just not very fun, especially a material like this that doesn't soak up with water. Now, you can also use this as a sit pad too, like, hey, just pull this out if you have it somewhere easily accessible, just set it down. I'm going to sit on it so, you don't get a soggy butt, which is not very fun at all, especially when you're hiking long distances. Anything gets wet, it's just a miserable bad time. Now this, you could also think of it as, is your wilderness table or your wilderness tabletop. Whatever you do, you could utilize this to keep stuff off the ground, as in food prep. What if you're cooking something, or you have, different types of food, and you don't want to set it straight into the ground here? You can just lay it over here off to the side, right? Set everything up so it's not getting dirt with sand and all kinds of stuff, whatever's out here, pine needles, especially where I am now, all over the place. But also, that's a benefit too. So say it's pouring rain outside, like terribly, and you want to start a fire. Well, along your journey of you've been hiking, you've been collecting dry material, like hidden in the crevices of trees and under logs and stuff like that. You put them in your dump pouch to keep them nice and dry. Well, when you want to start your fire, you don't want to set all your dry material that you've collected straight into the wet ground, because immediately the moisture is just going to suck up into that stuff just like a sponge. So put your dry material here, make your fire, don't literally make it, but if it's pouring rain, you could, put your poncho over top to keep it dry as you're creating the fire before you light it. Pull your poncho away and immediately light it. Now you have dry material, dry tinder, it's not getting soaked, all that kind of stuff. There's hundreds of different stuff for it. If you're working on something like maybe sewing, like say a garment is torn, if you drop a thread and needle on the ground in the woods, it's gone. You will never find it, especially like flashlight batteries or small orienteering. You put your map down here and then use your compass as well. It keeps it dry, keeps it up, and if you drop something, you can immediately find it rather than it just disappearing into the ground, which I know we've all been there, is when you drop something into grass or something and you're like, and it's gone. This helps eliminate that issue. Now, the other one that I was going to talk about is the one that I have made, because this one's kind of heavy. Honestly, I do not carry this anymore. I have went to this, really lightweight, and you can make 4 of these for about $8. I'll link this in the description box below. It is a rain poncho. Literally a cheap kind of thin vinyl poncho that you can get, tourists and stuff. But you can cut out 4 sections, because it's waterproof, of an orange poncho. And this thing has more uses, honestly, than the military one. Now, if you're familiar with my last video about marking, you can cut this up if necessary into little strips and mark your route if you need to. You can kind of like use breadcrumbs. You can write messages on it if you're lost. Obviously, you could use it for signaling. You know, if hunter's orange, if one of your buddies forgets his hunter's orange as you're hunting and you have nothing else, you could wear this, which is kind of not very fun. Or would you risk it and get the fine from the game warden when he finds you not wearing, you know, hunter's orange? You know, depending on the fine and location, just wear this thing dumb like a cape and you're set, right? All kinds of different uses for it. And of course, all the same stuff. If you're worried about this one not having grommets or tie-outs, you can just put a little stone in the corner, kind of crunch it up, put a piece of paracord around it, and now you can tie it to something if you want to. You know, tie it to a tree, a flagpole, like you can wave it, all kinds of stuff. So this one's extremely lightweight. It compresses down very small, way smaller than the military one. I'll link them both just in case. I carry the military one in my vehicle now, mainly just because my vehicle can suck up the weight, and if I'm around it, then I'll use it. But for this instance, I wanted to bring it out and just show y'all. But this thing condenses extremely small, like down into almost nothing. You can just keep folding it and folding it and folding it, and it'll just compress up into something small that you can just tuck away and it's gone. Put it in, you know, some kit or in your backpack. If you can't fit that in your backpack's way too full and you need to pull some stuff out, or get a bigger backpack. So I just wanted to discuss that. There's so many different uses for these things, highly beneficial for you, and I recommend it. I carry one all the time. It helps out a lot in a lot of different environments, and I'm just passing that on to you. So I appreciate if you guys comment or like and subscribe. Comments help out. You can say, hey, this was great. Hey, you suck. This is terrible. You know, whatever you want to put. Definitely, I greatly appreciate it. You can get this poncho in my Amazon affiliate link too, and I'll probably try to find the military one in there as well. They're a little pricey, the military ones, but if you want it, they're there. If you don't want to support me at all, then don't use the Amazon link. Go somewhere else and buy it. But literally, it costs you nothing and you're helping out me, which I appreciate. But fully your choice, whatever you want to do, I'm not too concerned. But I highly recommend it. It's a valuable piece of kit that I've used active duty, recreationally, you know, all over the place. So think about it. Maybe it deserves a spot in your kit. So other than that, hope you all have a great day.